Minutes. Rescue efforts underway as one person still unaccounted for following a tragic boat accident near Kete in the Oti region, which killed 5.
There's no way that during any education, life jackets are not distributed to them. They have been educated that youth life jackets.
Government to pay over 6,500 health workers after cabinet's approval in November.
That's over 6,000. Cabinet has approved that with immediate effect, starting from November, the Minister for Finance must pay them.
Also, Hefra begins shutdown of unlicensed health facilities in the Ashanti region. We'll go there live in a tad. Ahead in business, government exceeds its targets in latest Treasury bill auction, raising over 6.3 billion Ghana cedis. We have details of these and many others all in this 60 minutes belt. Stay tuned in. Once again, I am Mohammed. We begin from crime combat as the Eastern Regional Police Command has arrested 2 suspects for allegedly plotting to assassinate a chief in that region. The suspects identified as Emilia Ekwia Aso and Butuakwa Seth were arrested following an intelligence-led operation. The arrest followed the uncovering of a plan to eliminate the chief ahead of his first royal durbar scheduled for 17th October 2025 at Achemkwabing. Acting on intelligence received on 11th October, a police intelligence team infiltrated the suspect's network. During the operation, suspect Emilia Ikwaso offered 50,000 cedis to undercover officers to kill the chief and another woman alleged to be lined up for installation as queen mother. She further instructed suspect Butuakwa Seth to assist in identifying the residence of the intended victims. Suspect Butuakwa Seth led the officers to the homes of the chief and the woman and provided a photograph of the chief to facilitate the planned act. The suspect also promised an additional 50,000 cedis upon completion of the crime. Both suspects are currently in police custody, assisting investigations and will be put before court. The Eastern South Regional Police Command assures the public that it remains committed to ensuring the safety and security of all residents, especially traditional leaders in that region. Let's now focus on an unfortunate incident where rescue efforts are ongoing to locate one person still unaccounted for following a tragic boat accident near Kete in the Oti region on Saturday, October 11, 2025. The boat carrying 20 people reportedly capsized while crossing a section of the Volta Lake. According to the Ghana Maritime Authority, the bodies of 15 individuals, including 11 children, have been recovered. The victims were traveling to a funeral and included children aged between 2 and 14 years, along with 4 adults. 4 others survived the unfortunate incident.
Today, around 1 o'clock at Okuma to the Dombe, when they were going for a funeral, and the boat capsized. About 20 of the people on the boat, precisely around 11 children and about 9 men, were drowned, and so far 15 of them have been declared dead. 4 of them have survived, and 1 is still missing, can't be found yet. These are the same people who are fishermen who are located on lakes, on islands on the lake, or at the bank of the lake, where they are. They've done a lot of education. There are military men, there are Navy men, there are even concerned volunteers who do that. But unfortunately, the problem we have is that when the place is flooded and there's too much rain, these catastrophes also normally happen. But we were thinking that if you use the life jacket, maybe you could have saved some more lives. There's no way that during any education, life jackets are not distributed to them. They have been educated that use life jacket. They have been educated seriously by the assemblies, by the MPs, by our development partners, by NGOs. It is important that if you are on the lake, you should have a life jacket. And they have provided life jackets. NADMO has provided life jackets a lot, so much. But they never use it. I don't know the reason.
Moving on, President John Dramani Mahama has expressed confidence that Ghana will soon elect its first female president. Speaking at the Global Leaders Meeting on Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment in Beijing, China, the president emphasized the need for African leaders to help women overcome poverty, describing the African woman as indeed vulnerable.
My country, Ghana, remains steadfast in its pursuit of gender equality and the empowerment of our women. Under my leadership and in my capacity as the African Union champion for gender and women's empowerment, the government of Ghana has continued to take decisive steps to mainstream gender across our national development policies. We've achieved historic milestones, including the election of Ghana's first female vice president and the unprecedented appointment of women to leadership positions in government, the judiciary, the security services, and key national institutions. These are not just symbolic gestures. They are deliberate affirmation that women deserve a seat at the table of the highest levels of decision-making. And I am confident that in the very near future, our women will break the glass ceiling and there will be a woman president of the Republic of Ghana.
Now, Vice President Professor GHOne has revealed that the government is preparing a new legislation to outlaw all mining activities in Ghana's water bodies and forest reserves. Speaking to the Ghanaian community in Belgium during a visit to the Global Gateway Forum in Brussels, the Vice President described illegal mining, widely known as galamsey, as a national crisis.
A meeting with the Ghanaian community in Belgium was part of her official visit to Brussels for the 2025 Global Gateway Forum. Chairman of the Ghana Council in Belgium, Kweku Boama, during the engagement raised concerns such as high duty import charges at Ghana's ports and certain food products not allowed into Europe and labor exports.
The major concern for Ghanaians in diaspora is the excessive duty at our house. The president promised during the campaign tour that the new NDC government is going to work on it. So please take this issue to the cabinet for us. These vegetables and other foodstuffs are not allowed in European markets. They are not allowed because they have too much pesticides. And this is blocking a big market for our agricultural development.
Other concerns were raised regarding illegal mining and youth indiscipline. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman thanked the Ghanaian community for their continued support and contributions to national development. He highlighted government's initiatives such as the Jumara program and the 24-hour economy policy designed to expand employment opportunities for both locally and for Ghanaians in the diaspora. She reaffirmed the government's resolve to end illegal mining.
We are working towards banning mining in water bodies. We've been mining gold forever. How come all of a sudden all our waters were polluted? The water sources are normally in our reserve portions. And that's the reason why those areas are reserved forests. Now, when you give that to some who can even will it to his family, you all know what I'm talking about. So it becomes a family property. How do you stop that water, that source, from polluting the many rivers, from the source to many areas? A bill is being prepared to reverse what we saw and to ensure that the people are moved out of these areas and properly placed.
The Vice President also urged parents to portray Ghana positively to their children abroad and encourage young people to maintain discipline and plan for the future. The Vice President's visit with the Ghanaian community in Belgium is a reflection of government's commitment to engaging with the diaspora and promoting national development.
Now, the Director of Public Health of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Florence Kuchi, is raising alarm over the worsening sanitation crisis in Accra, warning that the growing levels of filth are now a major threat to public health and air quality. She revealed that more than 28,000 people die every year in Ghana due to air pollution, the equivalent of one life lost every 19 minutes. Describing the situation as disheartening, Ms. Kuchi said the combination of poor waste disposal, open defecation, and unregulated burning of refuse was fueling outbreaks of diseases such as cholera and typhoid, while poisoning the very air residents breathe. Let's still focus on health. This time around, some salary relief to health workers, as government is set to pay over 6,500 health workers who were not paid since last year after cabinet's approval in November. The health minister, Kwabena Minta-Kando, says the ministry has already made significant progress in resolving salary and clearance issues that have long affected doctors, nurses, and other health professionals.
Anytime you go to the Ministry of Finance, it is about putting another weight on the public purse. I'll give you examples. We had health professionals who had completed their housemanship, and some of them doing their housemanship without clearance in 2024. So we successfully collaborated with the Ministry of Finance to get about 883 of these officers getting clearance so that they can get their allowances.
Now, on the issue of unpaid salaries for junior doctors, the Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta-Kando, again stated the financial clearance has been made for 800 medical doctors. He explained these doctors had completed their housemanships in 2024, but remained at home due to a lack of financial clearance, adding that clearance and payment for the 321 pharmacists from 2024 have also been paid.
You recently had some junior doctors threatening to go on strike. They have started work without clearance, without salaries, without pay. Again, we collaborated with the Ministry of Finance, and as I speak to you now, we have succeeded in getting them clearance, and they are being migrated onto the payroll. We had about 800 medical doctors who had finished their housemanship, but they were still at home without clearance. As I speak to you now, the Ministry of Finance has issued clearance, and all these medical doctors are going to start work with immediate effect. And with this one, our priority areas are in the rural areas. That allowance, that's over 6,000. Cabinet has approved that with immediate effect, starting from November, the Minister for Finance must pay them. And I have in my hand the letter to that effect. And so these were the difficulties. I empathize with anybody who had to go through this.
Now, the Ministry of Health is appealing to the Ghana Health Service to show leniency toward a staff nurse who was queried for using inappropriate language against the health minister. In a viral protest video, spokesperson for the ministry, Tony Goodman, spoke to my colleague Nadi Diteti on the Morning Star on the matter.
It was during the demonstration that was when the lady said all of this. We don't want it to look as though we are not tolerating divergent views. We are not allowing people to exercise their constitutional right. That must be done. Whatever they see, at least must be measured. In the state we have said all of that. They may not know. They will fall within a profession, and the profession is guided by code of conduct, professional ethics, and this is what is expected from him. So, yes, this is one of it. But the next time somebody is wrong, the data may not come back. They must take action. This is our process. This is our procedure. We must go through it so that others may not think that anytime minister hears about some of those things, it comes to their rescue, so they will continue to do it. So there are lots in the system. But this one, because it's a public, it's been in the news, that is why we decided to issue a statement and let.
Well, let's engage a public health analyst, Samuel Arthur. Ms. Arthur, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning to you. The ministry says over 6,000 nurses will be paid by beginning November. This is not the first time we are hearing assurances from the Ministry of Health with regards to payments of salaries and arrears to older nurses and midwives. Is this news refreshing?
Okay, so good morning, and thank you for having me. Yes, it is refreshing, and refreshing because at least we have the word of the ministry that at least there's some payment that will be made. We have a date, and then at least we can hold whoever issued this statement responsible. So it brings some hope, at least for most of these hardworking nurses and people within the health sector who for 10 months have not received any remuneration. It's really so sad. So for me, even to hear that there's some arrangement and there's a date that has been fixed and there's this assurance, I guess it's something we should be happy about.
Now, on the issue of amnesty for a staff nurse, I have seen that the health minister says the Ministry of Health should exercise leniency and show clemency. The health ministry spokesperson says, well, it is to say that they are accommodating. But are we then not allowing these things to fester? Are we not opening the floodgates?
Yes, exactly. So I guess for me, the issue of clemency should not come in at all. Let's not even begin to use the word clemency. In any case, what is the crime of the young woman? You see, when issues happen, it is important that we situate them in the context within which it happened. Mm-hmm. Now, where did this happen? This lady did not sit on radio anywhere. But you can imagine the euphoria of a protest and all that. Mm-hmm. And people out there with benefit of the fact that these people have not been paid for 10 months, and with all the issues, emotional issues. Of course, that slips from that young woman could have been overlooked. Mm-hmm. So we could have focused on the real issue, which is about solving this remuneration and pay, this salary issues that is always outstanding. We should rather be angry and be focusing on the officers who are not acting, or whoever should be acting and is rather creating this gap, rather than focusing on this feeble statement from this young woman. In any case, we should be careful about the relationship between the ministry, the health service, and the staff of the Ghana Health Service, and not make it look like a headmaster-student relationship or housemaster-student relationship. These are grown people, adults, who are giving their service to the nation. They need to be paid. For some reason, if she erred in the way she spoke, we should understand the situation. And in protests like that, even the ministers, let's be careful. I'm sure when he was the ranking member, there are several statements he may have made that were not comfortable with ministers and other people. What he sanctioned and that. Let's be careful about sanctioning people for what they have said and making it look like some headmaster and some student relationship. It's not fair. There's nothing like clemency. That lady has not done anything wrong. Let's not hold her to this. When the entire group that went on the protest should be responsible for this statement, because she didn't just make the statement. She was part of a protest. She didn't make the statement in her room, in her house. I'm surprised the nurses and the group, the Nurses and Midwifery Council, this is where they need to stand up for their own. Mm-hmm. But rather, I'm not here. I don't know if they have made a statement to that. But there's nothing like clemency. We should not be talking about having mercy or... No. This young woman hasn't done anything wrong. Now, if anything went wrong, then we should be rather tasking the organizers of the protest, who rather, within that milieu, allowed this statement to come out. In any case, if there was no protest... But
Mr. Arthur, you say we should be, if for anything at all, we should be blaming the organizers. How does this suffice? I mean, it's just a vicarious liability you're asking them to shoulder.
In any case, I'm just going to the extreme. There's no wrongdoing here. But if there's wrongdoing that will be attributed to anybody, then it should be the governing body or the group that allowed the protest in the first place. Yes, it's service. The three people say, Brave Amba, Amani Amba. Now, the other ones, actually, they're back, all of the ones, to which that the one that brought sugarcane home is the one that brought flight. In any case, if they had been paid their money, would they have been in the street? So they got into the street. And this young woman alone issue, she's been singled out. Where are all the people that followed her? Where are all the people that hailed her when she made that statement? Let's be careful not to single this woman out. It's unfair.
How would you then assess the relationship between the health minister and, by extension, the health ministry and then personnel of the health fraternity, i.e. nurses and midwives?
The health minister has no business showing up in situations like this.
Okay.
Let me be honest with you. The health minister has more serious issues to be dealing with, which is policy, which is issues of supervision and all critical issues happening within the facility. So, like this, I'm sure the public relations people could have handled this. We should be careful. You see, it's when you bring the big man out, they can throw a stone and hit him. Let's hide the big man small. Before the minister comes, some other people could have showed their face. But you see, this is a case where the right thing has not been done for a long time. And you see, it looks like, okay, let the minister come and this will deal and cool tempers down. Let's forget about cooling tempers. Let's do the right thing and pay people for their services. Some of these things will not come up anyway.
All right, Mr. Arthur, thank you. We do appreciate your time with us, as always. That's Samuel Arthur. He is a public health analyst. So let's still stay a little longer on health. This time around, we focus on licensing as efforts to regulate health facilities have intensified as the Health Facilities Regulatory Authority, HEFRA, has begun shutting down unlicensed health facilities across the Ashanti region today. The move follows findings that some facilities are operating without licenses or have failed to renew them for years. Speaking to 980 on the Morning Star, the CEO for HEFRA, Dr. Winfred Koleteba, revealed that some of the facilities that were shut in Accra were employing unqualified personnel.
Today, we are starting the same exercise in Ashanti region. All of them had either expired licenses or no license at all. They've been operating a facility without a license. So we have to close down. So those were some of the offenses. Some of them too were using unqualified people. We are not just doing it's not a witch hunt.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, before we come after you, we would have given you repeated warnings. Mm-hmm. So all the people we are closing down, we gave them letters as far back as May.
Okay.
Telling them to come and regularize their thing. Mm-hmm. Some came. Those who haven't come, they are the ones who are good. So we don't just get up, because this is some people's business as well, and we are mindful of the image cost and everything. So we don't just get up. Before we go, it means that you've had repeated warnings and you haven't come.
Now, Dr. Koleteba also disclosed that about 21 government health facilities are currently operating with expired licenses. According to him, these facilities will be giving a 10-day ultimatum to renew their licenses or face closure.
GHOne. Yes.
All right, we take a break here. When we come back, we'll engage our Shanti Regional Correspondent, Isaac Justice Bidiako. Mind you, I mentioned to you that HEFRA is embarking on going around some health facilities to check their licenses. I am back shortly. Stay with me. Yeah, welcome back. This is Newsroom here on GHOne TV, and I am Lily Mohammed. I mentioned to you earlier that the Health Facilities Regulatory Authority, HEFRA, is going about closing down facilities that have been unlicensed in the Ashanti region today. And the man going with them is our man, Isaac Justice Bediako. Isaac, good afternoon to you. Well, this afternoon, yes. Good afternoon to you. Which facilities have been earmarked for shutting down today?
Well, according to the PR for Hefra, she confirmed to me that this morning that they have targeted about 200 health facilities in the Ashanti region. And these facilities include hospitals, laboratory service providers, among others. And these are the facilities they have targeted in the Ashanti region. Surprisingly enough, she said that some of the facilities, particularly when it comes to dental facilities, they have noticed that some people are not even trained, medical staff, yet they are there running, dental services. And some of them tell them they got the training from either their grandmother, their father, among others. So now they have realized that their activities poses threats to human life in the region. And so they are here in the Ashanti region to enforce full compliance of the law. And so all these facilities are going to be shut down now. As we speak now, 3 facilities have been shut down. 3 were all close to Kofanoji Teaching Hospital. One unfortunate facility that we visited and what we witnessed there was that a whole radiology who we are told work at the Kofanoji Teaching Hospital is running private, service direct opposite Kofanoji, and the facility has not been registered. And when we went there, we saw a number of people in queue who have come there to come and, seek their services. And what the people are telling us is that some came all the way from Jakobu, that is far away from Obuasi, to come and access these services in Kumasi. Yes, the service provider has not been licensed. So that is what they are doing at the moment. 3 facilities have been shut down, and we are currently around Kasi, where we are going to another facility that they would also close its business because they have not registered or do not even. Some of them have registered, but their license has expired. They've not renewed it. There are other ones that have not been registered at all. And so they are going after all those people. If you have not registered your facility, they will make sure you register it. Then the penalty that you're supposed to pay, you pay. Those that their licenses have also expired, those people would also, they will make sure that that person renew his license and also pay the penalties that they are supposed to pay. So that is what is happening right now in the Ashanti region. Okay. So the people, they just tell them, the clients who have come to, access medical service, they tell them, leave the facility, then they lock it with their own padlock, then they go. So that is what's going on right now.
Isaac, you mentioned that out of this over 200 facilities, a number of them have either expired licenses. So if you have an expired license and you want to renew, will they close it up, renew for you, and then reopen at a later date, or they will allow you renew there and then?
Now, when they find out that your license has expired, they still close it down. Then they give you the opportunity to renew your license, but then you have to pay penalty for not complying with the law. So that is what is going to happen.
For facilities with unqualified personnel, what happens to these facilities? Are these personnel going to be arrested, handed over to the police? And then are the facilities themselves also going to suffer punitive measures?
Well, as we are embarking on this exercise, we have police personnel among us. So I'm sure when they find out that the person running the facility is not a qualified nurse or is not a medical trained person, then the police would then come in. Then the regulatory authorities will take actions against those, for which reason we have police also following this exercise. So I'm sure they have made all these arrangements that when because they already in the morning, they told us that they have identified some facilities that are operating with unqualified people. And so they are going to deal with all those people.
Okay. How long is this exercise lasting for?
we are told it's going to be a weekly exercise in the region.
Okay.
And so tomorrow till Friday, and they're going they're combing around the entire region. They've already done their recce, and about 200 facilities have been identified. And so I believe that they will close about 200 facilities to business before the close of the week in Ashanti region.
All right, Isaac, thank you very much. We do appreciate that report. That's Isaac Justice Bediako. He's our man on the ground. I mentioned to you that the HEFRA is embarking on a closure of some unlicensed health facilities, and those with expired licenses as well. About 200, a little over 200 of them have been earmarked for this exercise from now through till Friday. Now, as Breast Cancer Awareness Month shines a spotlight on women's health, Dr. Evelyn Paha, Chief Executive Officer of Ladies After God's Heart Foundation, has issued an urgent call to action. With breast cancer now the second leading cause of cancer deaths worldwide, early detection remains a critical lifeline. Speaking at a bustling-free screening event in Kaswa, Dr. Paha emphasized the power of proactive health checks to save lives.
Market, where the foundation partnered with the Awutu Senya East At GHOne New Market, where the foundation partnered with the Awutu Senya East Municipal Assembly to offer free breast cancer screenings, Dr. Evelyn Paha urged women to prioritize their health through regular screenings.
Breast cancer, and it has been discovered to be the second cause of deaths worldwide in women. So you can see how much distraction breast cancer is causing our women. But the interesting thing is that it doesn't affect only women. Women are not the only people that can get breast cancer. Men can also get breast cancer. So the screening is for everybody.
The screening drew a large turnout of traders who expressed gratitude for the opportunity to focus on their health. The screening event saw strong attendance, with many women seizing the chance to check their breast health.
Now, in a momentous ceremony where 824 new lawyers were called to the bar, 6 remarkable individuals with disability marked a significant milestone in their journey to becoming legal eagles. With an unstoppable spirit, they defied the odds and shattered stereotypes to achieve their dreams. After being called to the bar, some of them spoke to EIB Network's legal affairs correspondent, Motola Inusa.
Love the profession, and well, I guess that was what pushed me to come. And I also realized that, well, I used to think that the whole society is unfair to some of us, so let me try and see if the law profession will be fair to us.
I have loved arguments and debate, stuff like that, since my childhood. But what really piqued my interest in the law was the 2012 election petition. Yes, I put it to you here. Dr. Baumia, Chachuchi Kata, Tony Lita councils, like that whole 6 to 8 months of legal tussle in court, it really piqued my interest in the law. And I said, no, I will be a lawyer one day. And thanks be to God, today, here I am.
Actually, when I lost my sight, I came to realize that reading law is the best option at that time for me, and I've not regretted since that day.
Quite unstable, a bit rough, a bit smooth. I can't say we had a smooth, challenging in terms of accessibility to documents and all that, but it's been good, since we are here, I think we can be grateful to God. Yes, I think so.
Now, the Graduate Programs Coordinator at the University of Education, Winneba, Dr. Daniel Fobi, has hinted that the Ghana Education Service will soon pilot a program to train teachers in sign language. The initiative follows the introduction of the deaf curriculum into the education sector, which is aimed at promoting inclusivity and enhancing the learning experiences of deaf students.
The forum was held to mark the World Day of the Deaf, celebrated globally under the theme, No Human Rights Without Sign Language Rights. In Ghana, the event was observed under the local theme, What Role Will the Ghanaian Media Play in Ensuring Access to Information and Inclusion? which brought together journalists from various media houses to deliberate on promoting inclusivity in news reporting, advancing sign language rights, and addressing negative stereotypes about deaf persons. The program's manager for the Ghana National Association of the Deaf emphasized that achieving true inclusivity requires the media to take deliberate steps toward employing deaf persons within the media space.
We are ready to provide technical support, training, and guidance on how to integrate sign language and inclusive practices in your programming. We also urge media houses to consider employing deaf persons as news anchors, sign language interpreters, or accessibility consultants.
Lecturer and Graduate Programs Coordinator at the University of Education, Winneba, Dr. Daniel Fobi, underscored the importance of safeguarding the right to information through the media and revealed that the government, in line with this commitment, is piloting a training program for Ghana Education Service staff in sign language to complement the new sign language curriculum.
We have written Ghanaian sign language curriculum from KG through to senior high school. Now, what we have done as a nation is that through organizations like TTEL and NACA and then the GES, Ghana has written the curriculum itself for Ghanaian Sign Language. We also have the teacher manual for it and then learner manual. And we are started by piloting the curriculum in schools. And so 3 schools have been selected across Ghana. One from the north, that's a local school for the deaf, and one at Secondary. School for the deaf, and one demonstration school for the deaf.
The forum also featured group discussions aimed at fostering collaboration and partnership between the media and the deaf community. Participants shared ideas on improving accessibility to information and strengthening efforts towards inclusive communication in Ghana's media landscape.
It's brought to you by CompuGhana. The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology. The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
President John Dramani Mahama has reiterated the plans are far advanced to establish a women's development bank in Ghana to economically empower women. Speaking at the Global Leaders Meeting on Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment in Beijing, China, the president said the bank will offer low-interest loans, financial literacy programs, training and business development support to women entrepreneurs.
Ghana's Affirmative Action Act mandates a minimum of 30% female representation in public appointments by the end of 2026, 35% by the end of 2028, and increasing to 50% of public appointments for women by the year 2030. To further empower women economically, Ghana is establishing a Women's Development Bank to provide low-interest loans, financial literacy, training and business development support to our women entrepreneurs.
Our government has exceeded its targets in the latest Treasury bill auction, raising over 6.3 billion cedis. According to data from the Bank of Ghana, the government mobilized 6.33 billion cedis, surpassing its 5.26 billion cedi target by over 1 million cedis. Total bids reached 6.5 billion cedis, with nearly all accepted, a return to oversubscription after weeks of mixed auction results. The 91-day bill declared at 10.53%, up slightly from 10.47% at the previous auction. The 182-day and 364-day bills were auctioned at 12.30% and 12.86% respectively. The government is expected to return to the market on October 17, targeting 6.57 billion cedis to refinance maturing debts and manage funding pressures under its short-term debt strategy. Now, the Google developer groups at Academic City University have spearheaded innovative solutions to tackle environmental pollution caused by human activities through a program dubbed ACT Hackathon 1.0. The initiative provides a platform for university students nationwide to showcase their innovative talent with a specific focus on addressing pollution, sustainability, and environmental protection challenges.
In line with Sustainable Development Goal 11, which emphasizes reducing environmental impact, improving air quality, and waste management, the hackathon aims to create technology-driven solutions to these pressing issues, highlighting the importance of green energy for the survival of the ecosystem. Delivering a speech at the program, the Director of Program Management at the university, Mohammed, underscored the need to scale up these innovations to benefit humanity both locally and internationally.
The plastics that choke our water bodies, the signs are clear. The time for incremental change has passed. But within these challenges lies enormous opportunities for innovation, creativity, and leadership. That is why gatherings like this hackathon are so powerful. They remind us that solutions don't come from institutions alone. They come from individuals with vision.
The lead organizer of the hackathon, Emanuela Oudie, highlighted some of the featured innovations and expressed the readiness of some organizations to partner for scaling up to address real-time sustainable issues.
So far, we've had people who do waste management, so like they reward you for supplying waste to them. And we also have teams who have hardware solutions that connect people to other people who collect waste, so like kind of like a social media for waste management. We also have another team who focuses on e-waste, so they have digital solutions. So when their phones go bad, they throw it away, so they collect those phones, and that's one of the solutions that some people have presented here today.
Our news team engaged with some participants who shared the rationale behind their innovations.
So what we wanted to do here was start a smart bin waste management system where in real time your trash would be monitored and sent to a web-based application where you'd be informed on.
We have identified a serious problem in Ghana. Waste collectors finding it difficult to identify buyers, and then for those recycling companies to also get the raw materials. So we want to bridge that gap.
The hackathon features 11 different groups from universities across Ghana, all vying to outshine one another with their respective innovations.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
All right. So up next is the latest updates in sports, and Benjamin Yamabengazi is here. I can see that you're in your Ghana jersey. You are prepared.
The Black Star. Indeed, they flew very high yesterday and ensured that Ghana has qualified for its 5th World Cup appearance, and that's an awesome news.
We're
for all of us
hoping that
in
they
Ghana.
do something better this time around.
Well, I mean, let's hope that in some 8 months' time in the USA, Mexico, or Canada, wherever it is will be based,
Mexico.
They can do. Why Mexico do?
Why should we go to USA or Canada?
Why not?
Mexico. Mexico is better.
Well, many more coming up in sports, but of course. Welcome on to sports, where Coach Otoado has etched his name into Ghana's football history after guiding the Stars to their 2nd FIFA World Cup qualification. Ghana sealed their spot at the upcoming World Cup with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Comoros in their final Group I qualifier at Accra Sports Stadium this Sunday. The feat makes Otoado the first coach to lead the Ghana team back-to-back to World Cup qualifications after having done so in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, after missing out the 2018 edition in Russia. Ghana's qualification marks the country's 5th appearance at the Mondial. Otoado, speaking after the game came to an end, had this to say on his tweet of ensuring that Ghana has qualified for it 2 times under him to the World Cup.
We scored more goals because I don't want to go through all the matches, but we had always a lot of chances. Not in all the games, but in most of the games. We were more matured. We were more clinical in our finishes. And still, even those games now, we could have we scored even more. So I think it seems like also the player, and sometimes things take time, they adapted. There were I think less distractions also about discussions about, I don't know, whatever, who's captain or numbers, where me, I don't care about these things, so, but I know it's a big thing here, so there are a lot of things, and but I think we now find together as a unity in the team. This is also very, very important, and I think this helps to structure, to build a team. If you have unity, everything else is easier. And like I said, from the first game, which helped us also, where we won 5-0, it gave us also self-consciousness back, and we believe in ourselves back, and from there we went to continue to win further.
Meanwhile, FIFA President GHOne Infantino has extended a warm congratulations to the Ghana team following qualification for the upcoming World Cup, applauding both the Black Stars and the passionate Ghanaian supporters for their color, energy, and the flair they constantly bring to the world stage. His message came shortly after Ghana's hard-fought win over Comoros and short. Ghana has qualified for the World Cup.
Congratulations to the Black Stars on reaching the FIFA World Cup for the 5th time in history. Your fans will bring color, style, and passion to the greatest FIFA World Cup ever in 2026 in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. And we expect that your team will establish more global stars to follow in the footsteps of the famous team that made the quarterfinals of the tournament in South Africa in 2010. But for now, enjoy this special moment, and we cannot wait to see who the Black Stars will face when we have the final tournament draw on the 5th of December. See you all very soon. Well done. Congratulations. Bye.
That's indeed the president of FIFA, GHOne Infantino. Then let's jump into the teams that have qualified already for the World Cup. Ghana has officially joined that wonderful list of teams there on your screens. Now the 3 host nations are the ones up there. Then we have Japan, New Zealand, Iran, Argentina, Uzbekistan, South Korea, Jordan, Australia, Brazil, Ecuador, Uruguay, Colombia, Paraguay, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria, and that wonderful flag you see there, Ghana, making it as well. So the remaining spots are the spots left to be filled by the teams partaking in the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup, which will be coming up in USA, Mexico, and also Canada next year in the summer. So social media has been reacting, obviously, to Ghana's wonderful performance and qualification for the Mundial. My colleague Nana Ama Akwa has joined us in here and has a lot more on what I've been saying on social media about Ghana's qualification to the World Cup. Nana, what do you have for us?
First of all, I'd like to say a congratulations to the Black Stars and especially to Coach Otoado as well. We'll stick with X today. We have here NK who says, kudos dear, proper ball carrier, but I'm scared for him. He might not play for long. He invites too many tackles. We also have Musk Jr. We are going to the World Cup, Charlie. Yes, indeed, we are going. We also have Amplify who says it's party time for the Black Stars. World Cup celebrations. If your country hasn't qualified, look away. Why is that shade? Why? Then we also have here, Mohammed Kudus played 76 minutes and scored a goal in Ghana's 1-0 win versus Comoros. His international break is now over. Then we have Pipita, Semenyo and Kudos ball to the world. Then we have Alexander, so proud and grateful. We're going to the 2026 World Cup. Big thank you to everyone who's been with us from day one. Ghana to the USA. We move together. We have Jegs. Ghana is going to another World Cup. They were in the last World Cup. They played very well. But Niger, we have to carry calculator and hope before we can qualify. Take your time. We also have, and that there is a repeat. So that is our last comment. But I just can't wait. I think we're going to... Where do you want to go? USA, Mexico, or Canada?
Well, I
I'd like to go to all
prefer
three.
either the Canada or USA, but,
Okay.
well, lady says she wants Mexico. For reasons I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, I prefer Mexico, by the way. Thank you very much, Nana. Thank you very much, Benghazi, for that update. Let's head to the international front. Longest-serving leader extend his 42-year grip on power for another 7 years. Should he win, President Biya will be 99 at the end of his next term, maintaining his rule over a nation struggling with deep security and economic challenges. Analysts Well, that should do for the bulletin. My name is Lily Mohammed. Thank you very much for watching on behalf of the entire team led by Awisi Dede Jangi. We say thank you. For more news updates, log on to starfm.com.gh. Good afternoon.